I got to show you what's been happening to our new guy, Chad Daniels. Since we left off, remember there was this guy on the last... what are my friendship tags still on there? Remember we introduced you to this guy that we saw in Kill Tony that William Montgomery was trolling? This is very similar, very in line to all the stuff you saw with this Matan. Do you remember Chad Daniels? I'm going to show you just a quick... I hope you remember Chad Daniels. I hope you remember this. Here he was with William Montgomery on Kill Tony. This caused a big stir. Here's Chad. Remember, he wasn't understanding William's shtick. There he is, looking very confused. We love this look at Red Bar. Boy, do we love this Gen X look. We'll play you just a bit of this from that episode. You saw this on the last Red Bar. Here you go.
Read. I don't know if people know that. That's probably
it's my thing.
My cups. Stressed.
Chad, have you seen William before?
I haven't.
How are you, Chad?
I'm great.
Cool.
What? Gen X.
What do you do? Are you a comedian or what do you do?
Oh my God, William!
No.
Why do you do that to the guest?
I've never
That's
met
what I
you.
forgot
We've
to tell you guys earlier.
It's okay.
I mean, remember when I said I
We've
feel like I'm
never
forgetting
met.
something? What I forgot to tell you guys was sometimes.
Okay, Tony, are you a comedian? Was the line. Now, on the last episode, I said, guys, let's try something. Let's try a test. Let's all go to Chad Daniels' Instagram, and we're not going to do Red Bar's watching. We're not going to do you're under investigation. Let's try William's line, are you a comedian? And I said, let's try his line because I bet you if 100 people start going on Chad Daniels' page, this was fresh after the incident, and you all say, are you a comedian? The Kill Tony fans will see that and think it's something that all the Kill Tony fans must be doing and join in. You're not going to believe it. That exact thing actually happened. Yes, thank you. It happened. All the Kill Tony fans saw the Red Bar comment saying, are you a comedian? They assumed this was Kill Tony-based light ribbing, and they all joined in, burying Chad Daniels in tens of thousands of "Are you a comedian?" comments across all platforms. Did I have a tape of that? Did I have here?
I think you said you had it on your phone, but there was also a Reddit post about it.
So look at this. It made it to Reddit. Chad Dick Daniels' latest Instagram post. I love this group. Oh, it's missing here. Is that on purpose? Was this deleted before?
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Oh, no,
but
no,
I think
no.
they just said something like, you can still read the comments.
Yeah, do we have his Instagram, the link to his Instagram? I would like to see his Instagram post that we all attacked, remember? Is that what they were linking to?
I think so.
Okay.
They were referencing the "Are you a comedian?" comments.
Okay, so the "Are you
That's
a
why I
comedian" thing
included
blew
it.
up, but I want to see his Instagram post from that day, the one that we sent everybody to show how crazy that became. The "Are you a comedian?" comments flooded really, it was as far as you could scroll. Let's see those.
This is the post, I think. I sent you the specific one.
More specific. Here we go. Chad Daniels, come on down. Here it is. Okay, so yeah, he was posting this stupid clip, and let's check it out. Let's check out the work. Here's Anon Pakad, first comment. You a comic? Why do you think it's funny enough to spill the liquor? Okay, I couldn't even do an impression. I see the guy. Okay, what's going on here? Did he delete all this?
No, all of the comments are saying,
Are you a comedian? What, a comedian? Is this comedy or some boomer trying to rap? Do you do comedy or something? The big red machine demolished you.
See, no Red Bar listener would be like, the big red machine
exactly
demolished.
Bodied by the big red machine. So we got the ball rolling. It really worked, and all the Kill Tony fans jumped in thinking our comments were like Kill Tony fans doing it. Is this stand-up comedy? Are you a comic? Genuine question. Is comedy in the room with us right now? Who funded your comedy career? Are you a comic or something? over and over and over and over and over. We made a video showing the thousands of comments. I mean, they really keep going over and over and over. This got, does it say how many comments this one got? Let's go to his page. Which one was that, Jules? Do you remember
That's
here?
on with 253 comments.
253, and he usually gets, what is he usually? Oh, 48, yeah. 48, 62, 33, 70, 36, 72, 26, 8. So yes, it started picking up here. 253. This spilled over 194. Even this one got 432. This might have been the one that I'm talking about. Yeah, here we go. Are you a comedian? 432 comments. Is this comedy? I didn't know you were a comic. Are you some kind of funny guy or something? Joined you on Kill Tony. Okay. Are you a comedian? You're not a comic, are you? Is this supposed to be comedy? I thought Daniel sang for Creed. This is just sad. I mean, just over and over again. There's probably 13 nice comments out of the 432, and then it really spilled over. It gets better, though. So this worked. He's buried in the comments. Everywhere he looks, he's buried in the comments. But he decides to talk about his experience and tell us exactly what we were all thinking, confirming everything plus more. Would you like to hear Chad Daniels talk about the experience we showed you on the last Red Bar? It's amazing. And we dug into Chad Daniels. He's incredible. He's incredible. He's so crazy. 100 times worse than we thought. So scary. He does this podcast with his girlfriend. Is it his wife or girlfriend?
I think girlfriend.
Girlfriend, who's also a comedian. Totally crazy. He was on Something's Burning with her. We got all the best stuff. Wait till you see Chad Daniels. We're going to go to this one, Red Bar Wild. Oh, wait. Look what happened, though, before. So we covered William Montgomery and Chad Daniels. Look what I got, Red Bar in the Wild here. Now, this is funny. William Montgomery messages me saying, "How's it going, good sir? Hope all is well. Is there some sort of clip I could watch? Looks like Red Bar was talking about me shitting on the Chad Daniels guy on his latest show. I saw your comment." Now, it's so funny. He actually messaged the wrong Mike David on Instagram. We actually have a listener with the same name as me. And he messaged the other listener, Mike David, hoping that it was me.
But maybe that guy commented on one of William's things and he's saying saw your comment, so he just didn't make the connection. There's a coincidence that guy's name was Michael David.
That's very weird, though, that we even have a listener named Michael David, and it's his real name. That's pretty insane. Now, did that guy find me from searching his own name and then just saw this other guy with the same name and started listening to the show? Is that how you became? But anyways, William Montgomery's messaging. He wants to know what's going on. And then things get good. Chad Daniels does an entire podcast about William and the incident. And we're going to hear everything he thought. It's amazing. Is it only on Spotify?
Unfortunately, yes.
Wow.
But I pulled it up already, so just tell me when you want to play.
Oh, you're going to play it over there? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, do we have a picture of Chad Daniels? Maybe I could put on the screen. Let's get his Instagram up here so we could have some visual. Let me find his shittiest photo. He does a lot of videos, huh? I want to find a real shitty... Oh, that's a good one, but that's a video. He does this bullshit comedian clip thing where they're burying you in these clips. Endless clips with the words. Here he is. Nope, that's very small, Chad. Ooh, is he ugly? This one, he's really ugly. Here we go. That works for me. Well, this lady's involved. We shouldn't have her on the screen. Innocent woman. Let me find... I like an ugly picture of my fools when we're doing stuff like this. Unfortunately, he has a lot of video. Here we go. I'll take this one. There he is. He looks like complete shit, and this is his girlfriend. Just as guilty. Wait till you meet her. All right, take it away. Let's hear the first clip. Chad Daniels talking about our whole situation here.
This podcast is brought to you by Aura. Hackers have just executed one of the largest safety toolkit, which includes credit and transaction monitoring, virus protection.
Okay, go to the part. There you go.
Word manager,
Could
parental
still add is still
controls.
happening.
Oh, we're listening to an ad
For a
built in.
limited
Got
time,
it.
Aura is offering our listeners a 14-day
Are we or no?
trial plus
I mean,
a
you
check
were
of your
controlling
debit
it,
and
so.
transaction monitoring, virus protect, all for free. With certain terms.
There we go. Chad Daniels. Now, is this on his wife's
Hey, everybody,
show?
this is Chad Daniels, and you have
this
landed
is a different one.
Different
somewhere.
podcast.
Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for coming back. Across from me, as always, is Cyrus Amundsen.
And across from me, fresh off.
Okay, come on.
The debut.
Wow, that was
It's
annoying.
Netflix
Who is
special,
that?
Empty
Pause that.
Nester.
You're gonna have to
Fresh
do the
off
pausing.
The Joe.
This is Cy Amundsen.
Cy Amundsen. Let's send a target on his back somehow. That was uncalled for. That was the most annoying thing I've ever heard.
Yep.
Okay, go. I mean, roll it.
Podcast where he was on another podcast where a guy talked a lot and mentioned conspiracy theories. Fresh off an appearance on
This guy's
Kill
driving me
Tony,
nuts.
which is the show that I'm most curious about given my best friend's demeanor versus that type of show. Ladies and gentlemen, the man of the moment.
This guy's killing me.
Chad Daniels, tell me about it. Tell me, what a whirlwind.
It has been.
We've talked it now, and everybody's like, I don't care if you guys have talked about it. We haven't heard about it. We're going to talk about the special. We'll talk about all that stuff. But the one thing I haven't asked you is we haven't talked about Homicide Tony. America's
Tony
fastest
Hinchcliffe.
growing and fastest growing live podcast.
This guy is awful.
Yeah,
He's unbearable.
It's the biggest live podcast in the world.
Here's Chad.
It is just sold out 2 shows at Madison Square Garden.
And
MSG.
I think everybody knows what it is, but for those who are not familiar, it's comics who come up and they do 1 minute of material, and then Tony Hinchcliffe and his panel of celebrity guests give feedback, and
You're a
spoiler
celebrity.
alert, they aren't super chill about it.
Excuse me?
Most of the time, but sometimes they are. Tell me, what was it like for you, guy
Pause real
who...
quick. This is like
both
doing
can
a show
deliver
with, I can't do this. I'm going to have to do the pause
You
myself.
have the spot of
Yeah, I was going to say, this is like how the other shows do it, where they listen and they just go pause.
Okay, now I'm super ready this time, but I know it's annoying to say pause.
How about I go, well, I've never done this. This is pretty cool. This is like how all the other shows do it, right? You got a guy, he doesn't touch no mouse. He don't do no work. It's pretty cool. You just sit here. God, it would be so easy if I didn't have to control anything. That's a whole nother thing these guys are doing. Okay, yeah, play it.
burn, but I remember when I was coming up at Acme, you were the changing force for me, like the first person that I was like, oh, I didn't realize all the comics in the back of the room who were good at this weren't giant dick faces.
Yeah, it was an interesting show to be on. Now, I was there with Sam Morrill, and thank God.
That's the greatest.
Thank God.
Because he and I have been friends forever. I don't really... I'd met Tony. I'd met Redban, but I don't know them. We never sat down. We never hung out socially. And
Look
so,
at his face.
I wish I would have known more about the show. So this is a lesson to everybody. If you're going to be on a podcast, watch it. Watch through some episodes and figure out what's happening, because so I obviously didn't want to be mean. There was a guy that came out with
William.
cerebral palsy,
Okay, not William.
and he did a great
Blue?
job. No.
Different guy.
This guy named Martin, and I thought he's
Martin
very funny.
Phillips.
He did a nice job with his jokes. But then at the end, he's like, they're asking him questions, and he goes, yeah, I was down in Florida. I was driving from gig to gig in Florida. And so I just want to make sure I understand what's happening. You were driving. And then he like lost his mind on me.
Wow.
He's like, oh, you
Remember this?
motherfucker. You don't think I can drive? I'm like, you just had to put your hands in your pocket so they weren't flailing around. So I'm just curious of how, I'm not saying you can't drive. I want to know how it works.
Yeah.
And then he's just real furious with me. Everyone, I think what's happened with this show that I didn't know about is once you become a regular, you kind of have the way that you gain your respect. It's like By the way, I'm not comparing myself to the toughest guy in prison, but it really is the thing where it's like you go to the biggest guy in prison and you punch him in the face. Then everyone leaves you alone or whatever.
So, no, I disagree. That is not like that. That is like, well, Jules, I didn't need to pause there.
Sorry,
I was still listening.
No. Lot of that
this is really weird doing this without the controls.
Question. Calm down.
I have
because
to
what I wanted to say was a whole bunch of mean shit after that.
This is far too foreign to me. Here, watch this. You bring this here, and I'll do them right here. That's way too foreign. You're making me feel like a pleb. Like a nigga! Yeah, this is way easier. Okay, Chad Daniels, back to him, and you could just, you could cue up the time codes, though. After
that ad at the beginning fucked all my time codes up, but they keep talking about it for like 10 minutes straight, so there's not really, just keep listening.
I got it.
But then but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to like make fun of someone with cerebral palsy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But so that's how it started.
Great stuff.
And then I just kind of shut my fucking mouth after that. I just kind of sat there and I was like, yeah, nice work. Good going. And then this guy came out at the end with long red hair and a long red beard.
William.
And I was just watching him. And then the next thing I knew, he was yelling in my face where I could see the foam in the corners of his mouth.
For what reason?
I guess that's his thing. Sometimes, like when it's not going well, he'll just go after the guy that's sitting at the end of the table, and I happen to be that guy. But
you hear this, William? So that's what he thinks of you. When it's not going well, he'll just yell at somebody, and I could see. He was losing it. So he thinks William did this. He actually snapped, and that he was just doing this because he didn't know what else to do.
I could kick your fucking ass. I'll kick your fucking ass right now. And I'm like, just looking at him like, no, you won't. But then I'm also thinking there are cameras pointed at me, and this goes out to so many people.
Listen to this guy.
A lot of people.
So I just sat there for a little bit, and at one point his voice got real high, so then I started mimicking his voice.
Love it.
And then he got real mad again because I was kind of waiting for him to punch me. And then after the show, Tony was like...
I mean, William was doing like 100% routine, a bit, an act on a comedy show. And you really thought he was going to punch you? You were taking this real serious?
Remember when I said I'm forgetting one thing? He goes, that was it. I forgot to tell you that he does that. And then that guy came up to me afterwards and he was like, hey man, this is kind of my thing. I go, well, it's not mine. It's not my fucking thing. I don't appreciate getting yelled at.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's like, here's the thing. I know this got a little crazy, but you just got to understand, no hard feelings. My thing is pulling my dick out in the deli meat section at the grocery store. It's just like my thing. You know, I don't mean to make it about you.
This guy needs to die.
I actually think I have heard of someone whose thing is pulling out their private parts in front of other people.
Many people.
Maybe someone we'll talk about soon.
Ooh. Now, can you get me a picture of this co-host?
Yes.
I need to see what this guy looks like. This guy is the absolute pits.
Your experience in the deli meat section is just my thing.
Yeah, I like to say, hey, can you tell me what that says so you get your head in the case? Then I mash my dick on the glass, and then I yell, slice it, motherfucker.
This is Chad Daniels.
Put it on the deli meat scale and weigh it.
Your Honor, I know everybody. I know you got all these jurors. I know the lawyers.
Does it say how many views this has anywhere on there? No? Okay.
Suits on, you're in your robe. I need you to understand, killing my wife is just my thing. It's just my thing.
Okay, nerd.
It's what I do.
Yeah, it's it is. Well, I mean, obviously, case dismissed.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was just what you did. I thought you freaked out. I didn't know it was what you did.
Thank you.
But it was very.
You got to see a pic of this guy. I can't take it.
Oh, you got to see the guy?
He's a seminar presenter.
Let's see him. Send him over.
I texted you.
I can't wait to see because he's like really bothering me. Oh my God.
I don't.
He's even worse than I could have dreamt.
I literally gasped.
He
out
needs
loud.
to be set on fire. He needs to be set on fire. Look at this guy. Wait, we got to find. So he's, what did you call him? A seminar?
Because that picture, look right there, seminar presenter.
Seminar presenter. Look at his graveyard. His teeth. Look at those teeth. One longer than the next. Wow. So he's even more vulgar than we could have even imagined. And he's a comedian. This is not happening. Oh, he's terrible. He's just awful. I don't think he's a seminar presenter. I think that was from a sketch.
He has been.
I think that was a sketch, but he is repulsive. Ruby repulsive, I would like to call him. Look at this guy. I mean, really, I think he tried to take Trump's life a few weeks back. He's that type of guy. Okay, let's go back to Chad and him talking. It's good to put a face to that guy.
Rory Scovel's family left him.
Excuse me?
And he was just super angry. And yeah, I just didn't know what to do. I wish I would have known that so I could have just sat back and enjoyed it. But it felt like an actual... It put me in fight or flight, and
Fight or flight.
I'm telling you this: if there would not have been cameras, and there only would have been
a live show,
people that could have told the story, I definitely would have come out of retirement and put one on his temple.
Put one on his... If there weren't cameras, Chad Daniels would have put one on his temple, you heard? You would have punched William Montgomery for doing a comedy bit. A very light comedy bit. We all saw this. Go back, watch last week's Red Bar. If you haven't heard this, come back to this. Because, I mean, this is crazy. This is even worse than I would have thought. I thought we were putting words in his mouth with how he felt. Remember, I was giving my opinion of how Chad Daniels felt. Now he's saying... Let's hear that again.
Fight or flight, and it's like I'm telling you this: if there would not have been cameras, and there only would have been
a live show,
people that could have told the story, I definitely would have come out of retirement and put one on his temple.
You hear this, William?
Because like you don't fucking lean over somebody and scream in their face that you're going to kick their ass. I mean, and then he's like,
never did that.
You know, he goes and he tours, and because of this show, some of these comedians have made huge names for themselves.
Very successful.
Like Cam Patterson was on there, and now he's selling out shows. Yeah. And so. And by the way, I enjoy Cam quite a bit. I like him as a human being and all that stuff. But yeah, this guy is just like...
William, sweet William.
It just doesn't feel like comedy. It felt like performance art, and no one let me in on the joke. So then I felt like I became the butt of it, and I was not thrilled about that.
Whoa!
Oh my God. Everyone else had to let themselves in on the joke, by the way.
Yeah. Isn't this something? Not in my wildest dreams did I think he was actually this twisted. Let's hear some more.
You've said something to me before. You and I are very different, where I think you're more willing to get in like old Chad especially. But I think if the two of us were in the exact same situation and somebody, you know, it's Family Feud, which of these, I don't think that Family Feud reference works, but you're voting, it's a poll. Which of these men is more likely to engage in a violent exchange? I think you're getting those votes. But I will say I admire your ability to be in those situations, because I think you and I both know, and we don't have to reveal the situation, but you've not brought me to a thing because I think that's a great example of, I don't know how I would handle myself in that situation, but I know it wouldn't be pleasant. And I'm not saying I wouldn't win. I think I'd ultimately lose and something not great would happen to me. But I think I would, like, in that whole
You're doing a post game about a fight that didn't even happen to you.
Exactly. I was going, you're fantasizing if this would have happened to you. You could barely fucking speak. I mean, really, talk about cerebral palsy. Really, Chad Daniels, what are you doing? You're paying this guy? Is anybody listening to this show? There can't be.
Like, I think I become real unpleasant in a not cool way.
Yeah, I think that I was real close when I started mocking the tone of his voice.
Oh. Yeah.
I think I was real close to coming unhinged, and then I put my mic down in the little holder, and I let it ride out because I was like, okay, now you are letting yourself become the butt of the joke.
Yeah, you're participating in a way that's probably kind of what the guy does.
Imagine what he's going to do when he finds out about the Red Bar coverage. I mean, if the lighthearted bit on Kill Tony that William did bothered him, imagine how much this is going to bother him. You know, we haven't heard from Chad Daniels. We haven't heard from him. I was expecting a knock on my DMs. Nothing.
Oh, I'm sure, but here's the thing. He knows he can't get punched in the fucking face. I'm telling you.
Fucking face.
Like, this dude needed my forehead in his teeth like no one has ever needed that before.
This dude needed my forehead in his teeth like no one has ever needed. Are you, like, fully autistic?
No one has ever needed it before in your entire life. That's the most contentious things have
Remember,
gotten.
guys, look at this guy's face saying this. This is an older man. This is Chad Daniels. Mike's Chad Daniels. Me. Let's hear that again about the forehead and the teeth.
Probably kind of what the guy does. He draws you in, and then you're...
Oh, I'm sure, but here's the thing. He knows he can't get punched in the fucking face. I'm telling you, like, this dude needed my forehead in his teeth.
William, you
like
hearing
no
this?
one has ever needed that before.
Yeah.
Just to let him know, write a joke, dude. Write a joke.
Wow.
You don't just scream at other human beings in their...
you fucking do. Our version of jokes is screaming at another human being. That's it. Otherwise, I mean, a regular joke is lame to us now. We need more. We need violence.
And why didn't you say this to his face then?
Why? Yeah, this is all fantasy. This is all.
And then
You sat there like this. Oh, because the cameras were there, Jules. That's why.
yeah.
He didn't want to,
Otherwise,
be
the
unprofessional.
teeth and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Got it.
And I'm here to tell you, if you're listening, guy with red hair and long beard,
William Montgomery.
He's not.
I actually think you should... I don't know that you need to write a joke. I've been on the internet for a while now. I think nobody's cornered the standing over other grown men you don't know and screaming that you can beat them up. And I think you should just keep testing that limit. And because that's your thing. And Chad, let me tell you something about comedy.
These
First
two
of all,
are terrible.
It's called comedy business, not comedy friendship. And this guy has a business plan. And I'm sorry that you were on the receiving end of that.
Sure.
But maybe
That
if
makes sense.
you weren't, and I say this to you with a lot of love, and then I'd love to switch topics, speaking of love. I say this with a lot of love. Maybe if you weren't such a little beta boy, everything...
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Maybe if you weren't such a little beta boy and you trafficked with the alphas over here with me, the
What are you getting to
who
here?
let the
This
dogs
is
out?
odd.
We did.
Yeah,
Because we're
that's
not
true.
scared of the dogs. The point is...
Because a lot of you alphas, you
Thank
have
you,
that little
us alphas.
plus. You have that little plus symbol going for you.
Yeah.
And I'm a beta bitch, and I have the
What are you
negative
saying?
symbol, so I attract you.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And while I would want to
Opposites
hang out
attract.
with other,
Are you pretending it's opposite day and it's the opposite of what you're sarcastically saying? Because it's not. I think that's what he thinks he's doing. No, you are the beta. William is the alpha. Your friend needs to be that friend. This podcast co-host, right? Might start picking on him now,
if there weren't
Chad.
cameras here right now, I would.
Chad. Imagine your name being Chad.
bitches, I can't because our negative signs, when they get close to each other, they push us
push each
away.
other
So
away.
I have no choice but to go to you. Now, I do want to say one thing before we switch topics.
Podcast. That's the origin story
I do
of the
want
podcast.
to, yeah, that's
so
true.
you're such a beta, and I was such an... People don't know this. That was the original...
You would think this is like a Dabbleverse show with like how unhinged and stupid this is.
There's also another guy on this podcast that's just sitting there silent.
Oh,
with
really?
His hands like
Really?
No, but
Oh.
that's what it would be if it was the Dabbleverse.
Yes, of course. A guy that we don't really know, but he's been around.
That was the original title of this podcast. It was called Beta Loves Alpha.
Oh, I thought we did ABCs because it was alpha for you, beta for me, and cunt for Justin.
Yeah, cunt for Justin. Yep, that's
what I thought it was.
ABC.
Justin.
ABC. And honestly, I think we should rebrand. What was the last thing you wanted?
Stop goofing
And
around.
then also,
that was
just to
pretty
be
much
fair,
it. Oh, wait. Let's see if he's
one more. Yeah, I think he wraps it up with this.
Justin wasn't with us immediately, so we know who the C was for. Now, so the thing I do want to say is, I told you in the beginning, I didn't watch this podcast like I should have. I'm taking responsibility for that. And I also don't know if this guy...
You've never watched Kill Tony, the #1 live comedy podcast in the world. As a comedian, never checked it out. Not interested in this giant show everyone's talking about. As a comic, not interested at all. Never checked it out. Didn't even know what it was about. It's cool.
Writes jokes too. I don't know much about him other than my first experience with him is which he screamed in my fucking face. So maybe he has a bunch of jokes and maybe he was just sick of them. No. I don't know.
You
but
are the
I will
joke.
tell you, not into it.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
when one of
into
the
it.
male comics is bringing girlfriend energy, sometimes you got to step up to them and put them in their car seat and drive them home while they take a nap, metaphorically.
Stop. We're coming
That's what
for you.
alphas do,
We are
Chad.
coming
And
for
so,
that co-host.
I
I wouldn't know anything about that. I come from a long line of betas.
That is 100% true.
Except my mom. My
Not
mom
me.
is an alpha.
I come from this extreme lineage of alphas. You know that. You know all about us.
What is he saying?
So I spent last week up north with my family. Okay. Speaking
Was
of
that
alphas, let me tell you.
There it is. Chad Daniels. Can you believe what we found? Can you believe this guy? And it gets worse. You must see. Let me drag him back. What's our next Chad Daniels piece here? Did we have?
You don't have to do all of this. Something's burning, but I just wanted to show this one part.
Of course.
Are you telling me that the Easter Bunny is not only real, but he's going to show up every day?
Bert Kreischer, everybody. And it's Something's Burning with Chad Daniels and his girlfriend, who I cannot believe isn't completely sickened and horrified by him, only leading me to believe that she must be just as bad, if not worse. We'll find out. What do we got here? What's our code?
You can go to... okay, I'm just going to skip the rest of them, but go to 3730.
Okay.
His friend was just like, "Ooh, imagine if it was some guy's thing to be pulling out their junk just for fun." Well, just hear this story.
Wow. So yes, on that last podcast we listened, he was talking about how absurd that would be and how that wouldn't work, right? Pulling out, remember that? He compared William's behavior to some guy at the deli counter. Did he say something about a deli counter pulling his dick out and putting it against the glass in public or something like that?
In public.
Okay, let's hear this.
Guy's going to have nut jokes.
Yeah, Ian Bag. Yeah. I went through a phase where I would pull my balls out.
Excuse
And
me?
I'd have my shirt covering them, and then when I was talking to somebody, I'd lift my arms up like this, and it would pull the shirt up above my nuts, and they'd go, "Yeah," and then we were, dude.
You and your friend just talked about how horrible that would be. I can't believe that. Somebody put that back to back.
What the fuck?
So you used to sexually assault. So you are Louis. You're Louis.
He essayed people to an extent that his manager had to intervene.
Like this, and it would pull the shirt up above my nuts, and they'd go, "Yeah," and then we were, dude. And so I brought Ian Bag a shot on stage and had my nuts out, and it was this club happened. It was in St. Charles, and it was attached.
You had your nuts out, sir. Really? You're taking your nuts out all the time? This was your ongoing bit? To show your balls? Like, really think about this. This man showing his balls. That's Louis. That's Louis.
I see no difference.
No difference. Worse.
I hope you have your
it was-
own website
this club
ready.
happened, it was
Yeah,
in
I hope
St.
you're
Charles.
ready to sell a $5 special on your mailing list. Big shot.
Charles, and it was attached to a hotel, and people would go there for vacation and then go to the show. And I went to check out the next day. That was on a Saturday. I went to check out on Sunday morning, and there was this huge line. I'm like, oh my God, this is a big line for Sunday. People were trying to get their rooms comped because they had heard one person did about my nuts.
So everybody was complaining at the comedy show about your nuts, and they wanted their rooms comped. They were so offended. Can we get eyewitness testimony from those people and write up a nice, juicy article about you and give it to every girl in the world? You're done. I have connections to the New York Times. Tell them this. Dude, tell them this. You know Jen Kirkman, who took down Louis C.K.? Oh, her and Mike are good friends. She's talking to the New York Times. No, she'll ask.
Including
believe me. Be like, yeah, dude, they're writing up a thing together. They're submitting it to their person at the New York Times. They said they're interested in this ball story or something. You exposed yourself, another comedian exposing himself. They're writing like a op-ed. A big piece. Just scare the hell out of him. You don't have to use Jen's name. Use, my name. So I can't believe you said this. You're kind of a complete psycho.
Because they had heard one person did about my nuts. And so then
Bert
Rick
doesn't even know what to
the
say.
owner of all the Zanies, called me and he's like, Chad, did you have your balls out on stage? And I'm like, yep. And he goes, man, this is not a great time for me. Can you just not do that anymore?
This is not a great time for me.
And I go, am I fired? And he goes, no, just keep your balls in your pants.
That was crazy. Like when we did comedy, there were no rules.
And see how his girlfriend, why aren't you rolling your eyes? Why aren't you wincing at how fucking gross he is? You're just smiling as if this is normal. You're proud to be his girlfriend. So what's with you? What's with you that you're not going, God, I hate him. I hate his guts.
She's got secrets
Balls
of
in
her
your
own.
pants.
That was crazy. Like when we did comedy, there were no rules, no cancel culture, no self.
Or are you just like you're trained, right? Like you've been through all this crap before. You just look ahead and smile. Just look ahead and smile. Do we have another code for
that's
Something's
probably
Burning?
good for this,
Okay.
but actually go to 2505. This isn't Chad related, but I feel like every Something's Burning has a Bert moment like this. So let's
a
enjoy
Bert moment.
it.
Let's see what happens. Okay, watch this. So Bert is pulling chicken. I couldn't get over this. So instead of taking 2 forks and pulling the chicken off the bone, he's making a chicken pot pie. It looked great. He's shredding the chicken with his hands, and he has been shredding the chicken with his bare hands for over a half hour because he's lost himself in conversation. So he's got this big bone-in rotisserie chicken, and he's just shredding while talking. But he finds himself, he'll be sitting there, and they're eyeing his hands. He starts just playing with the chicken, and he's talking and pulling and over-pulling and playing, and he forgets. And you could do this 2 seconds with a fork. But he decided to use his bare hands to pull all the chicken off the bone for this pot pie. I guess they're sitting there going, well, hopefully the pot pie is going to, the temperature, they're going to heat it up and it's going to kill all the bacteria, okay? Watch this. Watch what he does as he pulls. You can see his hands are covered in chicken. By the way, there's not one moment of this show after pulling chicken for 40 minutes where Bert washes his hands. You will not find that. Bert pulls a whole chicken for 40 minutes and then continues on with all the chicken gunk on his hands throughout the entire episode without even wiping it on a towel. Watch this.
Isla, permission to share our experience with Shogun, and
what he's doing.
then if you don't want it, I can take it out.
So his nails, there's chicken under the nail. He's been doing this, and they've both, like I said, they've both been like giving the stink eye at it a few times and then looking, oh, everything's fine. You know what I mean? They're like watching him do it. They're going, we have to eat this. It's under his nail. I saw him pull out a piece of dark meat from under his nail and throw it in the good pile. Watch this.
Okay. So Isla is dyslexic, and most of Shogun's written in subtitles.
Yeah.
So, in order to
Was
watch
that it?
Shogun,
Yes.
So look at this. As he's pulling the chicken, he sneezes into his hand.
written in subtitles.
Yeah.
So,
A nice big sneeze on the hand. Does he immediately drop the chicken and go rinse? Let's see.
in order to watch Shogun.
Can we get a new chicken?
And
in order to watch Shogun,
Just hawk to
Leanne
it,
had
a
to read it
chicken.
out loud.
so they both call him out. Do we get a new chicken? He just hocked to it in the chicken, she says. Very funny if you're doing it like me. Bert just continues to pull more chicken with the hand he just sneezed in without missing a beat.
In order to watch Shogun,
Just hawk to
Leanne
it, a
had to read
chicken.
it out loud because Isla wouldn't let me read it out loud because I'd read it in an Asian accent. She'd be like, Dad, stop. And I'd be like, oh, it's Tokinawa.
So if Bert's not washing his hands, I mean, imagine getting your full hands up to the wrist covered in chicken for 40 minutes till the point where your fingers prune from chicken. Wouldn't you immediately want to wash those hands? Now, imagine you go a step further and then you keep doing it. So he ain't washing his hands after going to the bathroom. I'm sorry. This is enough proof. This is all the proof I need. So if he's doing that right in front of you, sneezing in his hands, playing with the chicken, and then you'll see after he's done pulling the chicken, he's touching everything. I can't imagine touching anything. I'd go, oh, sing, turn it on. And then I'd have Dawn detergent, not hand soap, Dawn detergent. We'd be scrubbing and getting the chicken out. Or we wouldn't have had this problem because I would have used a fork. And if I did use my hands, quickly throw on 2 little cooking gloves, vinyl gloves, do the shit, and then throw off the gloves. You're done. Not Bert. So he's probably picking his ass all day. He's probably picking his nose. He's probably, of course, he's taking a piss. He ain't washing those hands. If you don't wash your hands after pulling a chicken, you're not washing your hands after a quick pee. Probably not washing your hands after one of your 4 shits per day.
Someone says, he just doesn't know he should wash. That's the attitude I like.
That's 100% true. He does not know. Let's see what he does after the chicken.
I was like, no, I'm just doing I'm acting. I'm an actor. That's what I'm doing. And so, but me, Georgia, Leanne, Isla, we were all watching Shogun. And if Leanne saw Isla.
That's what I mean. It goes on forever. Where does he finally stop with the chicken? Let's see.
Chicken's been raw dog.
There's
These
nothing
are not
left.
the first hands to touch this chicken. There have been a lot of hands touching this chicken.
That's why you have to really get in and break them into small pieces to get all the jizz off of it.
And you're going to eat it right up, Chad Daniels. So if it's so disgusting, why would you eat it like the beta bitch you are?
He probably has a podcast episode where he goes home right after this and is like, ew, that chicken was disgusting. If there weren't cameras on, I would have snatched that bird right out.
Yeah, but you ate it all. You ate Bert's shit chicken hands. And so did you. You gobbled down Bert's flesh. Watch this.
See, I'm going to crank this up.
So he just finished pulling the chicken. Watch this.
Break them into small pieces to get all
Keep
the
an eye on
jizz
his
off.
hands.
Let's see. I'm going to crank this up. I'm going to. I didn't even offer you guys a drink, but I know you guys probably aren't drinking.
Look at that.
Drink. But if you do want a drink, I can make you a drink.
A dry
I'm looking at you
wipe?
exclusively.
A dry wipe of the chicken. That's it. Just a dry wipe.
Because one time you made me fucking drink, and I wasn't going to drink. I was being so fucking healthy.
Columbus.
Oh, you did.
Toss.
Yeah.
Huh?
Columbus. I was thinking of Alabama. Oh.
Let's see what he touches next.
You were like, are you drinking? And I was like, no.
Touching all the handles, touching all the drawers, touching all the silverware. So that's all infected now. Now, are they coming by and cleaning everything? Because nobody cleans fucking shit. Trust me. This world ain't nobody cleaning nothing. So everything you touch, assume the worst has been touching it.
Oh, well, so that was my day. I was going to drink with you. And
So
I was
he grabs
like,
the
all right,
knife.
What are we drinking? You're like, what are you
Grabs the
drinking? I was
knife
like,
here.
Looking. I think we drank gin and tonics.
Yeah, so in a foolish move, I stopped drinking April 8th.
Come on, chill.
And I was going to take the whole summer off to see if I could do it.
Like, so yeah, the knife handle covered in chicken, he's just touching everything. Bert Kreischer, everybody. They're really going after him. Okay, did we have one more Chad Daniels clip, if I'm remembering correctly?
Oh, yes.
Now, Chad Daniels is going to be with us. You haven't seen nothing yet. Watch his podcast if you dare. Jules is addicted. Thank God we have Jules. She's going to watch, so we don't have to. She hates Chad, do you know this? My wife, Jules, can't stand you. She hates you so much. She can't stop talking about it.